Good afternoon. My name is Zachary Holman. I am a Virginia resident currently, so I'm going to study the Virginia rules and regs for informed consent. I was thinking about looking into New York, but I'm most likely going to kind of finish up everything in Virginia. So I figured I'll save New York research for another day. So I plan on researching both of them, because there's a chance I might go back. But for right now, I'll stay in Virginia. So I found the Virginia Beach Counseling and Wellness from Miss Natalie Wingfield. I picked her informed consent. I think I would maybe even go see her if I was near Virginia Beach, to where I want to move. She is a registered yoga teacher and a licensed professional counselor. So I like her overall wellness, not just specifically just counseling. She's also into some body and soul training as well, which I love. So in regards to standards from the Code of Ethics and Virginia State Boards, her informed consent looks pretty good. It's pretty in-depth. It's about 7 or so pages, and she immediately starts out with kind of a description about her, where she got her education, her training, any extra specialized training, which she reviews as she studied cognitive behavioral therapy at the Beck Institute and family-based treatment of eating disorders at the Training Institute for Child and Adolescent Eating Disorders. And she says she's an LPC and a national certified counselor and a registered yoga instructor. So she's got pretty good description of her qualifications. She definitely highlights eating disorders a fair bit in this. So I would imagine that that's her specialty and the kinds of clientele she is potentially working a lot with. In regards to the Code of Ethics from the ACA, it's pretty specific, and she does a really good job at hammering that. Informed consent in A.2.A describes kind of a basic description there, but then when it goes down to A.2.B, types of information needed, it says she needs to have, but not limited to, purpose, goals, techniques, procedures, limitations, potential risks, benefits of service, counselor's qualifications, credentials, so on and so forth. And she kind of hits that pretty well. She talked about confidentiality, explanation of dual relationships, sessions that are potentially required to seek out kind of full wellness. She has her fees listed on the informed consent. Insurance, adjusted fees for court and legal services, messages. She mentioned something pretty interesting in terms of electronic messaging and how she can't control complete confidentiality due to people obviously being able to hack information online, which I thought was really interesting. I think it's a really good adjustment to throw in there, especially with kind of the amount that you can tap into on the internet and through other people's phones and computers. It's kind of anybody's game out there now. And she specifically says it's not going to be, she can't control that, so she prefers in person on paper, but for counseling sessions to set it all up, she doesn't mind doing it by a text or an email, but those are specifically professional. She mentions how she does not engage in any pretty much social media interaction with her clients. She says she does not accept requests for social networking such as Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter. The sharing of such information may result in a violation of your mental health care privacy, and I cannot control the many layers of who views the information that is on such pages. I value our work together and appreciate your cooperation with these guidelines. Please sign below. So I think it's really, really credible for her to talk about that, to kind of clarify that, especially with the digital age that we're in. Obviously, we're engaging right now on a digital platform. We're learning on a digital platform. So she's definitely aware of that, which I think is really, really wise. And then she goes into clients' rights and therapist duties, if they have any complaints, who they can make them to, and then it goes into like more specifics of their information, contact information, billing information, any previous therapy that they need to report, so on and so forth. And when it comes to the ACA Code of Ethics, it is a very specific amount of information on here. The Virginia board has 541-3506 1.client information or client notification. Not a whole ton, a couple sentences honestly on what they need to have, kind of referring to informed consent. So I'd say she does a really good job at adhering to the ACA Code of Ethics because it's more in depth than the Virginia board, which is pretty credible. I mean, it says you have to provide your clients with complaint lines for health professionals, addresses of people who are in the departments if they need to contact them. You need to provide all of your education. Not a whole ton here, which is a little dissatisfying. And if I'm not on the right information, I haven't been able to find a ton from Virginia specifically in their Code of Ethics. If someone could send that to me or find anything, I'd be more than welcome to read it, but I couldn't find anything else outside of off the website of Virginia Department of Health Professions Board of Counseling, the most current one governing laws governing counseling. So she adheres very, very greatly to the ACA Code of Ethics, and I think she has a great consent form. Everything will be attached in my board for you guys to review, and she has the address to her facility and everything. I think she does a great job at listing out kind of exactly what you're going to expect in working alongside her professionally. She even, which I loved, talked about homework and projects that the client will have to engage in to promote a overall, not positive experience, but full experience of what she is capable of as a counselor, which is fantastic. So she's very much person-centered and trying to engage that person in their pursuit of getting better. So that is my research on informed consent for Virginia Beach, and I'm excited to continue to learn more about this and continue to locate some deeper amounts of Virginia-specific state board rules and regs for informed consent. Have a good day.